selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Welcome to the IPA Champions Cup, live on Sporty Stuff TV.
Very, very good evening and welcome to the IPA YouTube channel for Paul on a Sunday evening. Event 2, Group E. Really some good matches tonight. Don't forget the first match is on the YouTube channel. With me is the top pundit in Paul, Mr. Mark Pickworth. Evening, Mark.
Now then, Gary, you all right?
Yeah, very well, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Okay, just about okay.
Don't forget you've got a big match tomorrow.
I know. Hopefully, brushing off the dust cobwebs off my queue, and see how it goes. I did all right last time, I remember.
Let's look at our 4 players this evening. We've got some good names there tonight, haven't we, Mark?
We certainly have a look at that first one there. Mark Farnsworth, former world champion. He's the number 2 seed in this event, and he wants to add this trophy to that cabinet. He hasn't won it yet, but he's got the big one, the World Championship trophy, but he'd love to win this one as well. And then Rob Donkin, former professional snooker player. He's going to be a tricky little customer for Mark, and he's definitely one to watch. And then Jason Rimington, played in this event last year. He got to the last 16. He's a very tasty candidate indeed. And then Toby Boat, the qualifier from London. Again, he played in this event last year as well. He's going to stick with the amateur status and sort of see how things go in the coming season.
Yeah, well, all the money today's been for one player and one player only, and that's Mark Farnsworth. One of our betting partners went even money to win the group. They did put an £100 maximum up as well for that, and that got absolutely smashed. Everyone was going in wanting more money. And then there was a £1,200 at 5 to 6 to win the group as well. So all the money's been for Mark at 8 to 11, 3 to 1 Rob Donkin, 9 to 2 Jason Rimington, and 13 to 2 Toby Bolt. Looking at that prices there, I don't think the bookies have got it wrong tonight, Mark.
No, they haven't. And on pen and paper, Mark Farnsworth is the man in form. He's won 3 titles already this season, and he's going to be one to watch again for next season.
And his first match he's got is on at 10 o'clock, isn't it, on Sporty Stuff TV?
Yeah, he's going to play.
Looking at our players here, we'll look at Mark Farnsworth, who's, look at that, Big Ray. Oh, look at them W's next to his name, 84%. That's big, isn't it?
9 wins out of 10.
9 out of 10?
84% in 2020. That is some record. The best that we've seen. 72% was the best one, which was Liam Dunster, but 84%, that is some record, and 72% in his career. Phenomenal stats, really is. You can't see past him from not winning. You really can't.
So you can see why the punters have gone for Mark this evening. Big Ray, as he's known, his odds on there. Now we're going on to Jason, who's third in the betting this evening. You think he's got a chance?
Yes, he's got a chance. He got to the last 16 last year, and he caused a bit of an upset. He was a third favourite as well, and he's just as he is tonight. And the reason he's a third favourite is because he hasn't played many tour events, and that's why his ranking's quite low down. And he's only got 40% win ratio there, and his win-lose record isn't great. But that's only because he isn't playing. But he can cause an upset tonight. He's got it in the tank, and he's won an IPA title before, so he's no stranger to it.
Yeah, I was talking to another pool judge this morning, and he said although he marked that Mark Farnsworth should be a hot favourite, any of the other 3 players, they can, they're very, very good players as well. Rob Donkin used to be a snooker player, didn't he?
He did, former professional player, and he's going to be very tricky. Ranked number 18, again, didn't play too much last season. He only played a few tours, but he's going to be back to full-time this season, and it'd be interesting to see if he can break into the top 10. But win-lose record there, 7 wins, 3 losses, 65% in 2021 and 60% in the career. Them figures will go up this season, without a shadow. He is a quality performer, and again, yes, he is a former snooker professional, but he's also had an IPA title.
Well, if you fancy donks tonight, he's 3 to 1 to win the event. And our last, Toby Bolt, who's the outsider of the party this evening, ran about 7 to 1 I've seen in places.
Yeah, the qualifier, a very dangerous player, one of the best amateur players in the country, without a doubt. That win-lose record there, only the 4 wins, 50% in 2021 and 66% in his career. Yes, Toby probably hasn't had his best sort of season this season, but he'll be back, and he's a quality performer, and he caused a bit of an upset last year by beating Lee Clough.
And his nickname is Lightning. Is he that fast around the table?
No, incredibly not, but it's more because of the bolt. Lightning Bolt. I think it's a terrific nickname. One of the best, without a doubt, in this tournament.
Getting a history lesson as well, aren't we, on a Sunday
We
evening?
certainly are.
Our first match this evening coming up, Jason Remington, Rob Donkin. Rob Donkin's even money, Jason Remington's 2-1 and 9-4 to draw. I think you could have a draw here. We've only had a couple, haven't we, Mark?
We've had 2 in 24 matches, so we're due one, aren't we? We really are, and it's whether we're going to get any tonight. I mean, it is a bit of a group of death, and all these players are quality, so it could happen.
Could happen in match 1, but when we first started this series, and you said to me, I think the draw is a big runner in these matches. We've only, 3-3, and as you said, we've only had 2 out of how many?
Well, 2 out of 24 matches in this event. It's phenomenal, to be honest. But the favourites have roller coasted it every time, haven't they?
Yeah.
Apart from Drew, who played awesome as well. But again, they've all won every match.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a look at our first match on Sporty Stuff TV as well at 10 o'clock now. Toby Bolt, the outsider, the Mark Farnsworth, the favourite. If this was a boxing match, I should imagine our referee this evening, Ben Taylor for Anthony, would have the towel in his hand here because he could throw it in at some stage. Looking at the form of it, you think Mark Farnsworth, big odds on to win this match. 1-2 Mark, 5-1 Toby, and 5-2 that dreaded draw. But I think Mark 1-2, he looks a good thing to me.
Yeah, he is, and he is playing really, really well. But Toby's used to this studio setting, and these race to 4s are pretty much anybody's. He could get a result here. But Mark, with this race to 4 format, you have to start really strong. So it'd be interesting to see how he adapts to this, because he's used to playing a few longer races. But
the only thing is, we've been saying this for the last week, the favourites, it could be a tie, but the favourites have been winning, haven't they, all the time? By the last time we was in here, I think it was on Wednesday evening when the favourite got beat, didn't it? But look at our match odds now. I'm going to put a caption up on the TV screen here for you. Looking at that value there, it looks to be, well, we've already said about the match odds, didn't we? You can see at home all the prices there. And all I can say is tonight we've got Gentleman Jim commentating tonight. Jim White's from Toronto in Canada. And we've got Dan Davey as well, haven't we, all the way from Reading. And who we got refereeing this evening? The Governor, Mr. Ben Taylor Ferranti. Over to you, Benjamin.
Well, a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Champions Cup on Sporty Stuff TV. This is our first match. Looking for a spot through the group. And obviously, it looks like, by all accounts, that path is going to go through Mark Farnsworth. And I hope that I'm joined by Dan Davey, as Gary was saying, all the way from Reading. Dan, are you with us tonight?
I'm with you, Jim. Are you with me all the way from Toronto?
Well, a little shore. I've got a shore shoulder shoveling a bit of snow over here, Dan. But when I talked to Mark Farnsworth, Mark Pickworth, was telling me he was playing golf last week. So really? I was a little disappointed to hear that story. Mark out playing golf, and I'm shoveling snow.
I can't see Mark as much of a golfer, to be honest with you, Jim.
Oh, I'll bet she's got a good short game, Dan.
Oh, ouch.
I had to throw that one in. Well, this is an early opportunity for a man they figure could threaten Mark Farnsworth in this group. Now, what can you tell me about this man?
Rob Donkin is he's a tour winner. The tour he actually won three or 4 years ago now. He actually beat me in the quarterfinals and just played a perfect match. I think it was 4-0 down, and all I'd done wrong. I'd done nothing wrong. One of those games, I think he beat me 7-3, 7-4, and went on to win the tournament. Very, very capable. Like I say, a previous winner on the IPA, but not a consistent winner. He's only won the one tour, the one big event. So, yeah, I suppose consistency is what he needs to work on, but well capable. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him cause an upset tonight.
Now, Dan, being a top player yourself, for me, the secret of success at any levels, especially at this elite level, You've got to be able to win, even when you know you're not bringing your A game to the table. Those are the ones you survive. And then when you're flying, well, that's when you look good. But you've got to be able to get through those matches that you know you're struggling.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you look at a set of rankings, the rankings don't lie. You know, it doesn't matter who's the best when
10
they
seconds.
are at their best. It's who's at their best most frequently. You know, and the rankings really do show that. What a shot that is, by the way.
Oh, no
From
kidding.
Rob Duncan.
I mean, he always was going to have a problem with that red, and instantly he's giving himself a chance to secure frame one here, and in unbelievable fashion. Some tremendous shots, and I hope I haven't put the kiss of death on Rob.
Well, this is the kind of thing that Rob's very capable of. He is ultra attacking. And when I say ultra attacking, I mean he doesn't know what a safety shot is. He's amazing to watch and very good for a neutral, but very dangerous as an opponent because you just, when somebody's so attacking, if things go their way, they're almost unplayable.
Also can be very intimidating, that type of play. Well, this is just a dream start for Rob.
Frame.
As you'd expect, very steady over the cue, still, and secures frame number one. Rob Duncan off the mark here. Over Jason Remington, 1-0. Yeah, some terrific shot making, even better cue ball control, really, for me, Dan. And I mean, he's got a bit of a snooker background, doesn't he? So you'd expect him to be pretty solid fundamentally.
He is exactly that. Yeah, it's the single ball potting and
Jason Remington to break.
Technique kind of thing. There's never the thing that lets him down.
Time running.
If anything, like we say, it maybe is just the fact that he's almost a bit too attacking for his own good sometimes. But he's great to watch, and like you said, he can be very intimidating to play against.
Forward break.
Well, a good break from Jason there, but the black went in, and so it's a re-rack. But I mean, that was a good spread, good solid break. So I wonder if he's found the secret spot with which to place that cue ball.
Yeah, he's hit them well, and you can see just sort of spread far and wide. Always sign of a good connection, good timing of the break. So we're hoping for more of the same. Just wants to keep that cue ball away from the corner pocket, dangerously close to that top left corner pocket as we look at it.
They mentioned in the studio that Jason is the highest ranked professional in this event. He's at number 36.
Time running.
But still, being a ranked professional speaks volumes.
Yeah, lowest ranked professional. Yeah, he is, but he did win an event about 6-7 years ago, Jason Remington. He's a very good player. He's just work commitments this last year or so meant he hasn't been at every single tour event. So they say the rankings don't lie, but I think they do on this occasion because he's far higher than that in the grand scheme of things.
Well, they call him the Razor, and he's the oldest player in this group, 44 years of age.
Seconds.
The third favorite at 9-2, if you fancied a little bit of a bet before everything got started. And I'll tell you, they talked also about the fact that there have been very few ties. And given the format, 6 frames, this is a sprint for these guys. I really would have thought there would have been a lot more ties.
I would too. I would look at it as the equivalent of a football match, which is 15 minutes one way. It's such a short format, so you should see more upsets than you do, and you probably should see more draws than you
10
do.
seconds.
I think we definitely will over a long period of time, but yeah, at the moment we certainly haven't had our fair share. Always good value if you want to keep it interesting for yourself, and you like to put your £2 accumulator on and whatever. always something that you always feel like you've got a chance. You know, even at 3-0, you've still got a chance at the draw. This one I couldn't split on myself.
Yeah, well, that's as always. I mean, for me, it just looks with such a short race, the draw is always on the cards. But I mean, in the opening event 1, there were so many upsets. In event 2, it just seems like the favorites are really dictating the pace.
Yeah, I think that's just sport really in general, but pool more so than other sports, because there's so many variables in a game of pool. You know, the break, the luck you're going to get off the break. You can pot off of as many 10 breaks in a row, but some days you're going to come to the table 8-9 times and you're just going to have a difficult, awkward table to go at. Other days, 7 or 8 times, you pot off the break, and every single time they seem to come out nice. So,
well, I'll tell you one thing. Jason Remington is replying in kind. This is some kind of performance from him, because these were far from easy. And just like that, you're going to see a 1-1 scoreline here.
Another very good clearance. Needed to play a couple of pinpoint shots, and they've done so.
And 1-1 confirmed. These two seated professionals locking horns. Our first match of 6 to be played today. Looking for a spot to join Gareth Hibbett and Ben Davies. And another qualifier, a top finishing player from these stages. We talk about a group of death. I mean, we saw Gareth Hibbett and Ben Davies play, and yeah, they're terrific players. That is going to be one tough group to try and survive. When the smoke clears there of that, there's no doubt.
Rob Donkin to break. Scores are tied, 1 frame all.
Got Gareth Hibbett and Ben Davies, both former world champions. Could well be joined by Mark Farnsworth, the world champion of just 2 seasons ago. Could be a hell of a group. Could be the true group of death.
Well, frame number 3. And another successful break from Rob. Yeah, the table seems to be breaking. You mentioned this too, and it's so true. One day it looked like it was breaking superbly. And then another day, I think it was Mark in the comm box with me. I saw so many dry breaks, and the balls were awkward, it seemed, after every break, even if a ball was made.
Extension.
So we'll see if today is going to afford us some sparkling play and some great clearances.
Well, we've got the lineup for it. I would genuinely say that this is the toughest group of the Champions Cup so far over both events. Toby Bolt, who's the 8-1 outsider, is some player, Jim. I can assure you. He won't be intimidated by it. In fact, he'll be relishing it. So I genuinely wouldn't discount Toby Bolt, even though the bookmakers do. He is some player. And then add to that these two guys, and then it's just a case of Mark Farnsworth, arguably the best player in the world at the moment, along with Liam Dunster, that makes up the 4. What a night.
Well, we're lucky enough to have the best seat in the house. And if you've tuned in, you're lucky enough to be able to watch some of the best pool you're going to see in a long time.
Yeah, and this shot now is going to be crucial to the outcome of this frame, Jim. Just deciding whether he wants to go into the yellow, try and hold, and maybe play it. Can he play it off the red into the right middle? It's a very difficult shot. I think maybe into it and bump it from behind. Yeah, he's done so, and I think it's come out okay, Jim.
Yes, he's definitely on the yellow to the left center. Now, if he can avoid the traffic, get the cue ball back into the middle of the table, it almost looks like that yellow will pass into the opposite side as well.
Yeah, we see from the overhead it definitely does. So it's just a case of not cannoning any of these 3 reds at the top of the table, and he's home and dry.
Well, he's got a very thin cut on this yellow now. that red being there could work in his favor, but this is missable. And the cue ball is going to have some pace.
And yeah, like exactly that. The other problem
10
he's got, Jim, is if he does make this, the white's going to be flying around the table. So he's certainly not guaranteed to be on the black. And it was just too thin. Too thin a snick for him. Our first mistake of the match.
Yeah, the problem was missing the traffic, trying to get the cue ball back to the middle, and Rob knew it. It wasn't easy, but he probably feels he should have got out.
There's almost an argument as well that he could have
Extension
just
called.
played that quite a bit softer, so that even if he does cannon any of those, I mean, there was only realistically 2 of the reds that he was going to cannon, but if he'd have played it a little bit softer, maybe pocket weight, then he would have almost certainly left himself a go at that one in the middle. And though it would have been a little bit more difficult and he wouldn't have been too close to it, maybe that was the safer play.
Well, thankfully, he's got that red right over the right side. Well, that was a very thin shot that he had to play.
Yeah, a bit of a dangerous way to play that, but perhaps a bit unnecessary. You see it almost went off into the bottom right corner pocket there. But it's come out okay. It was a thin snick on the, playing the plant into that corner pocket. So he did have to play it at a bit of pace, but maybe played it a bit too hard. So key here, Jim, is that red next to the black, just to the left of where the black is. If he can get on that, he's good.
10 seconds.
You'd probably rather leave that red and try and get after it sooner rather than later, I would think.
I think he wanted to be able to play on it now. He wasn't quite straight enough on the red that he's just played into that right middle pocket. If he was, he could have drifted up in that gap between the red and the black and been guaranteed to be on the red that he's about to play now, even if he landed dead straight on it. It should be okay still, just a delicate one. Needs to miss the yellow on the way back out. Needs it to slow up a little bit. Just about okay, Jim?
Well, I've been very impressed by Jason Remington. Now, I had him down here as, 9-2 to win this group. You had mentioned something like 8-1. Was he that high with one of the betting partners?
No, that was Toby Bolt. That's the guy we haven't even seen yet. That's the amateur. Ranked number 9 in the amateur rankings, but a hell of a player and easily professional standard. Qualified to be a professional if he wishes to take it up this season. But you've got these 2 guys as well.
Well, 9-2, if you like Jason, and you'd like it right now, he's 2-1 in front of Rob Duncan, and Rob was the second favorite to win this group, but Jason, looking sound, hasn't yet put a foot wrong. And he's taken advantage of the mistake. There's only been one mistake. Very high standard this match.
I think that's
just wonder if there's and you wonder if there's a few more chapters to be written in this book before this one's put to bed.
Yeah, definitely. And say that these short races, that the whole match can just rest on that one mistake. That's such a high level. One mistake can be the difference between winning and losing.
Well, once again, table seems to be breaking pretty well, but messy over on the right-hand side as we get another look at Jason's break. Ball down, that's the first order of business.
Yeah, he'll feel a bit harshly done by there. He's got a good connection, and they've split pretty well, but they've all kind of made their way back round to the bottom half of the
10
table,
seconds.
clustered
Extension
over on the
call.
right-hand side. It's a really difficult table.
Yeah, surveying the situation. I mean, the problem area is certainly that right side. It's just no finishes really on, not without something spectacular.
It's one of those where you're really not unhappy to be Rob Donkin sat in your chair. Yeah. He's far less than a 50% chance of
10
clearing these
seconds.
up, so you're kind of quite happy if you're Rob to let Jason have a go at these.
Well, we'll see if Rob can erase the memory of that failed opportunity in the last as Jason sits down. I think Jason's got to feel like Rob as well. Pretty tough to win in one visit, but he certainly has a chance to seize control of frame number 4.
10 seconds.
I think this is where you're going to see what Rob Donkin's all about, Jim. He could have played the yellow to the right of the cue ball and covered the pocket in this bottom right-hand corner pocket, but he's opted to go aggressive. He was trying to get further over so that he could play one of these yellows into the corner and go into that cluster on the
10
right-hand side, but he's just underhit it a little.
Extension
So he
call.
may well now have to, he's taken his extension, just having a think, but I think may well have to shut up shop now and try and take control of that bottom right-hand corner pocket. Well, I did warn you, Jim. He is ultra aggressive. I mean, there's very, very few players that would be going for these.
That's not the worst split in the world. He's on a yellow to the top corner, and he's left another one right over the side.
Yeah, could have come out a lot worse. He's one good shot away now from being able to take these out. Deft touch. If that goes, I mean, look at this, Jim. This is exactly what I was talking about. Not many players, none. Your Dunster, your Mark Farnsworth, they wouldn't have been going for these. Never in a million years. Rob Donkin does, and he gets them.
Well, that's going to put him right back in a positive frame of mind, too. Jason in his chair had to feel like he was going to be coming back when he left the table. Didn't look that upset with the miss. But he'll be coming back to the table, but it's not going to be in this frame.
No, and this is why Rob Donkin's an absolute pleasure to watch from a neutral's perspective. What a finish this has been.
Frame.
Definitely didn't look on the cards, Dan, but you warned us. This man fires from the hip. Rob Donkin, they call him Donks. A 3-1 bet to win the group. And with performances like that, we'd love to be on it. 2-2, all to play for here in our opening match.
Yeah, they both look settled. Both look quite relaxed out there. Both certainly look like they've been practicing hard for this, and as a lot of players have, you have your regular tour events and stuff, and sometimes you turn up less prepared than others, but for these big events, they do put the hours in.
Donkin to break. Scores are tied, 2 frames all. Time running.
Mr. Momentum has definitely changed chairs. So if Rob can put in a good break here,
Is Momentum his surname, Mr. Momentum, or is it Mo, as in short for Mohammed Momentum?
Mo. It's Mo
Momentum.
over here.
You've never been asked that before, have you, Jim?
No, I haven't.
Right.
I guess it depends where you are.
Yeah, I suppose so. Another good break from Rob, in first again. And he's got a good angle on
10
this
seconds.
first red to go
Extension
into his
call.
cluster at the top of the table.
Yeah,
See
don't
his
try
yoga
this at
coming
home.
into play there.
Not unless you got the chiropractor living next door.
I'd be in a bad way if I'd just played that shot, Jim. And so would the table.
Well, he got right after that awkward one, didn't he? So instantly an opportunity.
Yeah, as all these top players do,
seconds.
he's gone into his bad ball straight up. Now, it's just a case of whether this red closest to the right middle pocket, has he just about got hot? You see he's having a look now. If he definitely hasn't got a full pocket, but I think he reckons he can make it. And if he can, this is as good a chance as he's going to get to go 3-2 up.
Well, we talk so often about, these former world champions and great players and the way that Rob has played. What difference does it make who sat in the chair opposite him? There's only ever one player at the table.
Exactly that. And you can see from what I said earlier, Jim, he can be unplayable when he's at his very best. It's just a case for him. If he can work on his consistency and be at his very best more often, he's going to win a lot more in the term when it comes to sort of silverware and the big events.
Yeah, they've got him ranked number 18. He's 40 years of age. He's in the prime of his career.
It looks like he's in the prime of his physical career as well. He's very nimble up there. Oh, Rob, getting his leg up on the table a couple of times with an annoying amount of ease.
Well, he's going to have assured himself at least a point in this. Well, he answered the alarm bell because Jason Remington looked in terrific form. But Rob Duncan, wow. Last two frames, flawless. 3-2 his lead.
Yeah, and flawless, Jim. He hasn't taken out two easy clearances when having got first opportunity. He's taken out two very tough finishes. Some performance, 2-1 down in effectively a race to 4. He needs to win all 3 to guarantee to get himself the win. Pressure's on, and he's come up with the goods.
One thing about it too, Dan, if the bookies are sitting at home seeing Rob Duncan and the way he's played, and obviously the way Jason has played too, it's only 3-2. And they're thinking, and everyone's bet on Mark Farnsworth, they're probably sitting at home relaxing very comfortably right now. Frame 6. Not the best time for a dry break. Wow, again. Looked like he took a little off this one too.
Yeah,
tried to keep that cue ball under control.
Yeah, and still got a good split. And as clustered as they look at the top of the table, if he can pick them off one by one, these are all there for Rob.
Extension called.
His eyes are looking around the table, wondering if he's going to get out of his chair.
I don't think it's quite as messy as it looks for Rob. He'd like to get the white back to somewhere around about where it is now after playing this first red. Just needs to stay away from this yellow and not go behind it. That's perfect. And it's just a case of picking these off in the right order. There'll be no need for any cannons, perhaps a plant. That's about it. These aren't as difficult as they look. Takes the one into the top left corner. That's going to make way for the one just to the right of that to go into the same pocket. Just all about a couple of very delicate positional shots here. This being the first one of them. Doesn't want to be losing that cue ball too much. Would have ideally like that to have pulled up a little bit, but slowly picking them off one by one.
Yeah, he wanted a bit of angle on this red. Maybe a little more than he ideally would have liked, but if he can float this in, just hang on the red to the opposite corner.
Yeah, and that's a very clever shot there as well, Jim, because he's made way now for the black to go into that corner pocket that he's just played the red into. So he's just making this easier and easier for himself, shot by shot.
Well, Dan, you warned us. This guy doesn't ever look like taking prisoners when he comes to the table. He is in all-out attack mode.
Yeah, and we see that mistake that he did make in the third frame. Did nothing but get his back up, and he really has been in top gear ever since.
This is special for me. This is pool at the very highest standard, as good as any sequence I've seen in a while.
Frame and the match.
An unbelievable performance from Rob Donkin, a 4-2 winner over Jason Remington to kick things off here on Sunday night. And I'll tell you, if I'm a bookie sitting at home and all the money's on Mark Farnsworth and I see the way that man just played, I'm relaxing very comfortably.
Yeah, the first favourite of the evening, Jim, Rob Donkin there, and he played well as well, Mark, didn't he? A 4-2. When are we going to get a tie, Mark?
Well, we're going to keep trying, aren't we, without a doubt. But Rob Donkin, great performance. Jason, he played really well. And it's only that dry break in that last frame that's cost him that match. Yeah. Very unfortunate time.
Did any player miss a ball?
No, what I can remember.
I can't remember anyone missing a ball.
Oh, well, I think Jason Remington in the top left-hand corner, that was it.
But
one ball.
Yeah, one ball.
Yeah.
That's
the standard tonight. That's what we're going to be watching.
Good standard, isn't it? And what Jim said there, gentlemen, Jim, anyone took the even money and 4-5, our favourite this evening, Mark Farnsworth. I should imagine watching that. Mark's got to do everything right tonight to win, but he is a class player, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he'll be watching this match downstairs, sort of seeing how the sort of table's playing, and I think he just can't wait to get started now, and it's all about how he can play consistently for 3 matches at this time of night now.
Yeah, and I should imagine he knows he's got to win this first match, isn't he, at 10 o'clock on Toby Bolt. You know, he's got to win it because, and there's the players coming up here as the previous times they've met, 0-3, 1-3. Mark Farnsworth, he's a genuine 2-1 on chance, isn't he, to beat Toby, but if this is a tie or if he gets beat, I think you're in trouble. I think tonight 4 points ain't going to be enough to win this tonight, is it?
Definitely not. No, I think he's got to go all out attack. He needs to win every match. He really does, just to set a statement. Because obviously the players that are through, the Hibberts, the Marsh, the Davises, the Hughes, they'll be watching on and they'll be thinking, I've got 3 wins out of 3. Let's see how Mark's.
And even 5 points tonight would be a struggle, wouldn't it, Mark? So can 5 points win it?
Well, it's possible. It's more than possible. We could have 2 players on 5 points.
Yeah.
It's not happened yet, but it could well happen. It really could. Well, it does happen with Corey and Liam.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mark Farnsworth. So don't forget our next match is live on Sporty Stuff TV in about 18 minutes' time. It's about 10 p.m. We'll be back for Toby Bolt, the Mark Farnsworth, the outsider, the favourite. Come and join us at 10 o'clock.